Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is an episode of Collections and Connections. I want to talk about some books today and some great people to be connected to. So, before I begin, I am Lachelle, also known as America's Supermom, mother of 15 children, and I am a vitality coach to help you crush the chaos in your life, the overwhelm of everyday life, and transform it into clarity and confidence with a smile. So I'm excited to be here today because I love reading, and I'm going to talk about three books today. The first one is Now What? It is a collaboration that I was a part of with one of my show guests from my series, Real Life Without Excuses. She guest appeared on two episodes and she does anthologies. And so we did this book this year. It was an international best selling Amazon book with over 30 authors in it. I mean, she has done a number of books since then, and they've all been bestsellers. So I am honored to have been a part of this collaboration. But I think it really is so fitting because the title is Now What? So you could be thinking, now what? We're, what, maybe 64 days from Christmas? It's the end of the year that's quickly approaching. But what is on the horizon for 2024 for you? What is your now what with your business, with your personal life, relationships, your kids? It is really asking ourselves better questions that get us in alignment to make different decisions and decisions that can help us grow. Because at the end of the day, we're a product of the decisions that we make because it affects the choices that we activate or we just sit around and let fade in the wind. Okay. So I'm going to read a quick little part of this. Now what? This is my contribution. And, I may end up reading other people's, but the name of my chapter is Voice in a Village. This morning, I wake up in a familiar place. I am in my bed and in my house, but something about this morning is unfamiliar. As I get out of bed, I have a mindset of choosing how I want to show up. I no longer feel the weight of needing to seek the approval of others, and that includes my family. This is a new feeling and very exhilarating. I have to pinch myself to see if it's real. This morning is day one of the new Lachelle Atkins, wife of Pastor Jerome Atkins and mother of 15 children. Confidence in my identity and sharing my voice with the world. This is on the heels of my third release from a behavioral hospital from a 13-year struggle with depression. However, this has been a pattern for some time. Today, I woke up to the fact that I do not want this pattern, which no longer serves me. So for me, it's this cycle, afraid that I'm going to end up in the hospital again. I was raised as a high achiever and worked for a life of success, which did not appear to be the reality that I was living. For years, I believed that positive thinking could change any circumstance. However, thoughts alone are not enough, it requires action. I took a moment to realize that my actions were not supporting my thoughts. I was not in alignment with my beliefs because I was always seeking validation by conforming to the beliefs of others. This was a recipe for disaster because I felt I had to be perfect in every situation, which left me changing more often than a chameleon. So I ask you, are you changing like a chameleon? Do you feel like you hide behind masks, have to be perfect for all people, don't really want to tell the truth about your thoughts and feelings? It could go on. Afraid of rejection, so many things, right? That was really my story. But if you want to know my now what changed, you can get a copy of that book. Now, I am an Amazon influencer, so I will put the link to these books in the show notes or comments so that you can get your own copy if you choose to. Maybe somebody. This is one of the things that I am passionate about when it comes to normalizing the conversation of depression. You may have a friend or a family member or a coworker that you feel is just not quite themselves. Maybe you feel like they're dealing with some issue that you just don't have the words for. Buy them a book and give it to them. Okay, just share, something that maybe you don't have the words, but you can give them to somebody who does have the words. All right, so the next book is Connected to Goodness by David Meltzer. And he actually was a guest on my podcast. He does a phenomenal job in this book about talking how we can manifest everything we desire in business and life, right? It really is a good book. It talks about his story, how he made it to the top, lost everything, and rose back up again. And I think, this book is so good about talking about, when I was saying that you need to take action, right? We can think about, oh, I want to be a best selling author, or, oh, I want to be successful in my business. But it takes action. You can't just think about the good things, you have to implement a plan, right? And so he talks about this. So I'm going to read one quote that he shares, and it says, it's by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. It says, I respect the man who knows distinctly what he wishes. The greater part of all mischief in the world arises from the fact that men do not sufficiently understand their own aims. They have undertaken to build a tower and spend no more labor on the foundation than would be necessary to erect a hut. So we have all the grandiose things. See, this is what I'm saying. We're thinking big, but we're not implementing the foundation that's going to support these big aspirations, right? So it is this mindset that really is impossible to fulfill, right? Because you can have all the positive things that you desire, but what are you going to do about it? If you're just talking, it's never going to happen. You have to actually um, navigate that talk with a plan, action plan that you put into place. So, again, this book is Connected to Goodness by David Meltzer, and we're actually going to be doing a study on this book starting this Wednesday, October the 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Clubhouse. So, if you're interested in hearing more, you don't have to have read the book. A lot of times when we do our studies, we just have a conversation around each segment. So, like with his book, he believes that there are, I want to think it's 7 foundational principles, but each one has 4 different segments that he goes into the principles. So, it really is a good read. We did this earlier in the year, and it was phenomenal. I did it on on LinkedIn and on Clubhouse. All right. So that is this Wednesday, October 25th, and I'll put the link in the show notes. And then the last book is Atomic Habits. We are currently doing this book study now on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Clubhouse. But this book is by James Clear, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. Okay. So I want to go to a section in this, and this really sums it up. Okay. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Okay. Let me read that again. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Focusing on the overall system rather than a single goal is one of the core themes of this book. It is also one of the deeper meanings behind the word atomic. By now, you've probably realized that an atomic habit refers to a tiny change, a marginal gain, a 1% improvement. But atomic habits are not just any old habits, however small. They are little habits that are part of a larger system, just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules. Atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. Okay, so it's a part of a system. That's the thing, right? With atomic habits. And we're doing this study on Saturdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's led by Kimberly Lechnick. But the thing about it is, with these systems, see, a system, I guess I can best describe it, is, for example, a chore chart. So I have 15 children, and one of the things that would help us keep everything organized when it comes to chores is to have a chore chart. The chore chart would go up weekly, it would rotate once a week, daily. We would be able to look who has what chore to check and monitor, if the chore was done or not. We've had rewards or problems, like if they don't do their chore, they get certain consequences, right? But it was a system to keep things organized when it comes to keeping the house in order, right? Um, Maybe it's a checklist, right? Your system could be a checklist. I have this whenever we travel, right? I make a list of everything that everybody needs to pack, and then, everybody takes that list. And, so if we're gone for 3 days or a month or whatever, we have a certain system on how much we're going to be packing or something. Okay. So that's a checklist, but that's a system. So anytime we travel, the kids know, hey, you have one backpack. This is what it's going to be. You need these items. If we need something that's going to be more than a backpack, then we will see about sending that ahead of time. So it's just different things with your system. Now, the reason why systems are important are because they give you, like, just like this book, for example. This is not a real bookmark, but they bookmark things for you. So if things are going kind of crazy in your life, maybe, somebody's sick or something's going on, but you know that you're going to be traveling, you have like a bookmark. Okay. Regardless of what's going on, have I got my checklist done? Right. So you get your checklist done. It's just that calming thing that, in spite of everything you're going through, some of the key priorities that have to be done in order for you not to create a bottleneck for the future, right? So you just know, hey, things might be getting a little crazy, but, have I got my checklist done? Right. So life can be busy, in terms of we've got extracurricular activities and, maybe we've got performances or games. But how are those chores looking? Right. So it's just certain things, even your system could require something visual. Maybe you have your vision board and every day you look at it just to remind you, hey, am I on track for some of the things that I'm doing? Now, the thing about it that I think is very good about this book is the tiny changes that we can make, because over time they build. So, for example, let's say that you want to do some lead generation. And I use this example because people connect with me all the time in the DMs on LinkedIn, especially, telling me about some lead generation. Now, I'm not interested in the lead generation. Why? Because they haven't looked at my profile. It's just a blanket message. They don't even know what I'm looking for. So if they're going to get me leads, am I interested in their leads? Because they don't even know what I do. I haven't had a conversation with them. They don't know what my passion is. None of that. None of that's even mentioned in the messaging. Okay. So, but if you want to do lead generation, one of the things that we could do in implementing tiny habits, and I use this example because it's getting to be the end of the year. Most people are like, oh my gosh, trying to scramble and do all this stuff to make up in the last quarter what didn't occur all year. But you can flip that. You could think about being ahead of the curve. What do you want for 2024 and how are you going to get there? Right? So, most of the time, people are relaxing, but they are in the gift giving season. I love that term. I did a room and someone said gift buying season, but I like the gift giving season, right? So if they're in the gift giving season, what gifts do you have in your business that you could offer someone, right? Do you have some books? Are there some digital products that you can create? Do you have any services that could benefit them in 2024? Why not bundle them and have them available for Black Friday? You know, there's a lot of coaches or people that provide services that don't even think about how they can offer products for Black Friday. They think, oh, I'm just a coach. What am I going to offer? But there's a number of things that we could think about. Myself, I'm a TV producer. I could offer spots on my TV series, right? Um, I could offer um, courses, right? You can create a course. Now, the thing about courses are only necessary when you get started, right? So you can create your first module and create them as you go, right? But that's something that you could offer in 2024, and the course doesn't start till then. So you still could get that pre-sold, right, on Black Friday. So there's a number of things, even things that you maybe have not created yet. Maybe you have some t-shirts, right? I tell people this: if you have some merch, t-shirts, you have some mugs or something like that, get one of them and start promoting it, right? You just need one prototype that you could show, that you could take a picture with, that you could put in a bundle or some kind of advertisement. That's all you need. And then you could take orders. So those are a few ideas when we think about gift giving season. Because I think it's important for us to think about how we can move forward with our gifts. And you guys, it's hard for me to multitask. I see that there are comments in the comment section. Okay. When you're doing this by yourself, it's so hard to read the comments. So I want to thank y'all for watching. It looks like Mary Baker is here. Hey, Mary. Mary is so sweet. I met her on LinkedIn and we have been friends ever since. She got off the app, and I'm so glad that we would communicate in the DMs. We got each other's phone number, our address. And matter of fact, Mary, I'm going to give you a shout out. Mary got me this journal. Have faith. Because I'm on the road to collaborate with Oprah Winfrey and Jimmy Fallon. And so she just reminds me of this. She sends me things all the time. So I am just so appreciative. And we're going to connect in November. And then we have Ronnie, who is on here, who is definitely amazing. She just released a book. Let me see. Do I have it around here? Because I think I had taken it. Okay, it's not in my bag that's next to me. But Unmasking the Hurt. Okay, that's a great book. It's a story that you don't want to miss reading. She has just done a phenomenal job. She's going around doing these book tours and signings, and it's just simply amazing. So you want to make sure that you follow her on LinkedIn. So Mary says she's sleepy. She keeps closing her eyes and listening. Yeah, because I think for her it's earlier. Are we on the same time, Mary? Or are you an hour ahead of me? I can't remember. So, because she's in Tennessee. But I want to thank y'all for watching. I do have a couple slides that I want to show because I have a couple of things that are happening. So I want to make sure that you guys are in the know about these things. So I am going to add them now. Okay, these slides. Okay, so the first thing is that I am hosting a Canva tutorial. Now, I'm not actually going to be doing the teaching. It is actually going to be Chanel Coleman Wesley, and she and I have collaborated along with Ronnie on a book, She Said Yes. And so this book has launched. It is out now. It launched on October 19th, and it's 99 cents for the ebook. So you can go to my profile at LinkedIn and you can get your copy. You can get a couple copies, share it with a friend. But it's an anthology with 30 authors and just some phenomenal stories about saying yes to yourself. I am so passionate about sharing my story of overcoming depression for 13 years and 3 hospitalizations. And a lot of these women have come together to shine the light on some traumas that they've experienced. We've learned to walk away from that victim mindset, the woe is me, and now we are focused on empowering others with our message. And so, if you really want to hear some phenomenal stories of overcoming some trauma or just changing your mindset for some things that you're just tired, right? You are sick and tired of that same story, you can change it. So, listen to this story with some women and again, get a copy for your friend. All right. So that is what's going on. You can go to my profile on LinkedIn. I've also announced it on Instagram and other places. But if you just want to click and go to it, that's the best place. All right. Fridays on LinkedIn, I have a room called Weekend Strategy Masterclass. And so this room is with Brian Smart. He is one of the top voices on LinkedIn. He actually is recognized for that, for content. So he and I have a room where we just kind of reflect on the week, based on our content and engagement, conversions, or whatever. We talk about what was working, what didn't work. If you have a question about, man, I'm in a particular industry and I don't know how to show up in content, this is a great place for you to kind of strategize with that. So it is a very intimate setting. I have a large following with my personal page, but I'm building up my business page. So my business page doesn't have near as many people as my personal. And so, in order for it to grow and get more exposure, I need your help with helping me to share the room. But Brian, I would recommend that you follow him. He has some great, phenomenal content on LinkedIn. All right. And I've already talked about Atomic Habits, but this is Kimberly Lechnick. She is actually our guide through this journey with Atomic Habits. The room usually lasts about 90 minutes or so, sometimes 2 hours. But we really have a discussion about how we can apply these principles in our daily routine. So, the name of the club that we have on Clubhouse is Elephant Strategy. And that club started with talking about the hard topics, the things that are the elephants in the room that we don't want to discuss, but then being able to face a strategy that we can approach it with one bite at a time. So it's about breaking down some of these elephants in the room and talking about them in a way that's going to help us to move forward. So a lot of times when we have hard conversations, we avoid them. We think that the worst is going to happen and all these different things, but we learn how to face it head on and do it with passion and with honesty. Okay. Because a lot of times when we're able to be honest, for example, people can say, oh my gosh, you have 15 kids. How do you do it? Oh my gosh, you're so organized or whatever. And then they learn bits and pieces behind the story. I didn't have all 15 kids, I had 13. Two of them are my stepchildren. The oldest stepchild lived with us for a large portion of his upbringing. When he was 11, we got custody of him. And we did shared visitation with his mom and stepdad. And then, sorry about that, y'all. My phone is ringing. Where is it? Too much stuff on my desk. But here we go. Then also, I have another stepchild that was born after my husband and I got married. So if you want to know more about that story, send me a DM and we could talk about it. But anyway, the whole thing is about you never know somebody's story. You can't judge the story by the cover, right? You just don't know. So if you want to hear more about that, or if you want some more insight, you can actually watch one of my episodes because my son Christian, his mother, and I did an episode about that on Real Life Without Excuses. So you might want to check that out on Zandra TV network. All right. I'm also a part of a mastermind. So if you are thinking for 2024 that you want to do something different, you want to level up, you want to be able to create an inner circle that is invested in your growth and it's going to help support you for the things that you want to do. You know, one of the things I love about masterminds is that you know, the mastermind has an energy for everybody to be successful. You know, you don't want to go to a mastermind and you're talking about what you want to do, but nobody's taking action, right? You want to be a part of a mastermind where people are doing great things. That energy is contagious because if they're doing something, you want to do something, and everybody wins. Everybody wants to be successful. You know, you don't want to start something and end it the same way you started. You want to grow, you want to level up, so some of the perks about being in a mastermind for me, the biggest one is that other people are invested in your success. They are really thinking about ways that they can support you and show up for you so that you can be successful because your success is their success, right? It's that common mindset for growth and empowerment. You also compound time because you hear the stories, the successes, the failures of each other, and you have more of a cheat code to move forward. Now I don't really like to use that word because it just has a negative connotation, but how do I want to say it? You just have some inside information, right, on how you can move forward in a better way. So if you know that somebody started a business, something similar to yours, and they lost money because they didn't focus on, I don't know, uh, customer retention, something like that. Let's just use that as an example. Well, then automatically, okay, I'm not going to make that mistake. What can I do to create a stronger foundation so that's not on my list of things that I fall victim to, right? So that's one of the things about a mastermind. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the application in the comments. The next thing is Keep It Real TV. This is the sneak peek of my tile for my new channel that's on Zondra TV Network. So this channel, I'm able to have 12 shows. I have one that's going to be launching next month. And each show has 24 episodes. So if you are somebody that is putting out content, maybe you have a podcast, maybe you have a vlog, something that you're doing on Facebook, YouTube, and you're not monetizing it. You're still trying to jump through the hoops of these different platforms in order to have your content be monetized, then you might want to give me a call because you can see about putting it on TV and monetizing it. Okay, so with Zandra TV, we have 350 million viewers, right? And you have a specific place where you can direct your audience to see your content. Now, a lot of people they love Facebook, they love Instagram, they love TikTok, YouTube. But a lot of these platforms can delete your account at any moment. I have a connection who just probably a couple weeks ago, she has been on Facebook for 12 years and done a lot of content. She has her own show on 360 TV that was streamed a lot of times on Facebook. And she did a lot of content before she got on 360 TV. That's what got her under on the radar of the founder who wanted her to be on the show. So she gets this notification that her account is being deleted from Facebook. She tries to reach out to them, do an appeal. They say no. She lost all her content. She was a part of some Facebook groups, just connections that she no longer has access to until she remembers them, right? If there's any people that she had a personal relationship off the app, then of course she can go back and tell them. But she's now rebuilding up her Facebook page under a new account. So when you think about your own intellectual property, and she's lost that. Now, some of the things, if she does have copies of, it's not that she doesn't no longer own the content, but she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it anymore. If she didn't back up a lot of the things, then it's gone. Okay. So when you think about your own intellectual property, having it work for you, directing people directly to a space, because you can say, oh, it's the fifth post on October 22nd, whatever, right? And people just don't have enough of attention span for that, right? Even if you have a very engaged audience, anything could come through their feed and distract them while you are doing a live broadcast or something of that nature. So if you're interested in monetizing, then reach out to me. And then the last thing is, this is my series, Real Life Without Excuses. I'm all about having guests on the show that are forward thinking, right? I'm looking for like the future of work. We've got this stuff with AI. I would love for somebody to come and share about that. Each of the show guests are on a 30-minute segment. So it's talk show format. Right now, I'm looking for a minimum of 5 guests, but I'll take more. But I want different content. So I'm thinking like financial literacy, um, networking, mental wellness, joint partnerships, networking. I mean, just a number of different topics, all around empowering people with information that's going to help them move forward. So, if you're interested in being a guest, then you can reach out to me as well. I need a minimum of 5, and then I will be ready for season 3. So I am really excited to have shared with you guys today. This has been a lot of fun. I'm trying to get back to being more consistent with my videos on YouTube, because I have not been doing a lot of interviews. I was doing a series called Bold Voices with 2 of my co-hosts from my TV series Real Life Without Excuses season 2, and we have dissolved our collaboration because the time was up. We agreed to collaborate for a year. The time has come and gone. I cannot believe it's been a year. And so I was doing regular recordings on Tuesdays with them. But now it's like, okay, you got to get back on that horse because it's all about visibility, right? You have to be seen in order for things to take off. And so, again, speaking of being seen, if you really want to be seen, then you might want to join me again for this.
Are you frustrated trying to create graphics for your small business or brand? You've tried and you still can't figure it out. Let's take the headache out of designing with Canva. Introducing a Canva tutorial for beginners. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, should be this frustrated. Do it like a boss. Canva tutorial. Don't delay. Sign up today.
Love that. So that was a commercial that Chanel did for the Canva class that actually is going to be this Monday at 7 p.m. Okay, so if you're interested in signing up for that tutorial, I'll put the link in the show notes. But that's 7 p.m. and we're looking at, about an hour or so for you to kind of get up to speed, to understand. Now, I believe that that commercial or trailer or however you want to call it was done in Canva. So that's something that you can create for your business. It was a voiceover. So there's so many different things that we could do with Canva, the free or the paid version. So if you would like to see how you can do graphics, those slides that I just did were on Canva. So there's so many different ways that you could show up with visibility with this app. And again, they have a free version, they have the paid version, but it's up to you on how much you want to dive into it. But it's a great way. I think if you have flyers that you create, then you're going to promote yourself more. A lot of times we just don't promote ourselves and then we're sitting around saying, oh, nobody's showing up. Well, nobody knew, right? I tell everybody, you are not McDonald's. And by that, I mean, McDonald's has created such a stronghold in the marketplace because of marketing. They have had so many commercials, so many jingles, all these things that they have done it across generations. Like right now, it's like a rite of passage for kids to have a Happy Meal, right? Or, it used to be go to the play place. I don't really know a lot of McDonald's with the play places anymore because they've just kind of redesigned their way that they show up, with the McCafe and all this. But they are a giant because they have done their share of advertising and still do. I don't know if you get these little direct mailers, but they have coupons in there for McDonald's usually. They are staying in top of mind with a lot of people. And so we are not being top of mind. And so we're wondering why people aren't showing up, right? So we got to get out there. We got to be more visible. So Canva can be one way to kind of get that baby step started for you on that journey. So, again, I want to thank everybody for joining. Miss Kim, it's a pleasure to see you. And oh, thank you so much, Ronnie, for your kind words. Um, I appreciate all of you guys. So, again, I'm going to highlight the books, try to put them all up here. They are available on Amazon, y'all. Okay. And a special shout out to Ronnie and her book, Unmasking the Hurt. So, and Ronnie, you might want to put your link in the comments because see, this is the new way of networking. And yeah, you guys put your contact information in the chat, how you want people to get a hold of you. One of the things that I do is connect people who are on my broadcast. So I used to do this all the time on Facebook. So if you are joining me and you're interacting and engaging, because I don't know who's watching if they don't make a comment, but whoever makes a comment, then I connect those people, however many people are in the room. So if you might not know somebody, then I just make that connection for you. And I think it kind of takes the awkwardness out of it. It's like, I introduce them. I was like, hey, Ronnie, I want you to meet Miss Kim. You guys both were on the live. So then you have something to talk about. Oh, yeah. She talked about that book by James Clear. Have you read it? Or, yeah, she did mention my book. I am doing a book tour. Where do you live? Because maybe they want to come to your book tour. Because she did go to a book tour in San Antonio and met Cassandra Terry, one of our connections from LinkedIn. So you never know where it could go, right? Somebody may live somewhere and you might decide that you want to have a tour there, right? So many things about connecting. So just put your contact information in the chat, your links, if you have any books yourself, courses, this is how we find out about these things. So, again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you got value out of it, share the video, uh, comment, right? Like it, whatever, all the YouTube stuff. I just want to thank you guys. It's so funny when you're talking to yourself. I used to watch Rachel Ray a lot because I did not know how to cook, y'all. My poor husband, he is still alive today, praise God, with some of the food that I don't know. I was an only child, so I really didn't cook a lot, right? I was so busy trying to interact with my friends and, do all the stuff so I wouldn't be at home by myself, right? Always involved in activities and events, so I wouldn't have to be by myself. And so I was not cooking. So when I got married and having a large family, you can't be eating out all the time. It's ridiculous how much it would cost for so many kids, right? And so I had to learn how to cook. So I would watch Rachel Ray and I'm just like, how does she talk for 30 minutes by herself? What is up with that? Until I started doing video myself. Then it's like I can go on, right? So it's great practice though, being able to talk um, on video because it really helps you to be succinct. It helps you to be organized with your thoughts, even though sometimes I'm all over the place. So, you are so welcome. Ronnie says, thank you for the opportunity. See, she has her book up there. This is what collaboration is all about, right? A lot of times people just think, oh my gosh, if I have them do this, what is that going to do for me? But I'm telling you, when we all win together. And so that's what collaboration is about. Understanding, even this book, like Connected to Goodness, right? Everybody may not hear from David, right? I tell this all the time. I could say something to my kids, they don't hear me. My husband says the same thing and they take action. They're like, Mommy, did you hear what Daddy said? And it's like, didn't I just say that? So we have to realize that sometimes our message is not going to be heard by the same people, right? So this is why we collaborate because our experiences and perspective can bring something more to the table to where they may not hear it from me, but they may hear it from Ronnie. They may not hear it from Ronnie, but they may hear it from Mary. They may not hear it from Mary, but hear it from Miss Kim, right? Because we all could say the same message or talk about the same principle, but it's heard differently with different audiences. And so this is why collaboration is important because you learn that, you're not the only spokesperson, right? Same message can have a different impact. It's just like music, right? Somebody might say it in hip hop, somebody might say it in country, somebody might say it in classical. Same message, it sounds totally different based on how it is presented. Same message. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm wishing you a wonderful week. I'm going to be getting off here. I have a room on Clubhouse. It's the weekly room for intention. Every week, we talk about a different topic for the week and how it shows up in our business. So, today we're talking about books. So, I'm excited because that's one thing that I always have room for is the unlimited library, right? It doesn't matter if I have bought a book or not, right? I'm not really into the audiobooks, but I'm saying like I can get library books, regular books, I can buy them off Amazon, go to the bookstore and buy them, go to Goodwill, right? I thrift for books, all these different things. You can go to the library where they resell the books. They have them on clearance, they where they sell them every once in a while. I never can get enough buying of books, right? So some people collect shoes, purses, clothing, but I'm more for the book thing. And I think it really started because, being an only child, I would read all the time. I love Nancy Drew. That was one of the things that I enjoyed. And they were my friends, right? I learned so much from the books. And so now it's like, hey, I'm going to pick up a book and have some intimate time with this person, with their thoughts and their perspectives. And I used to like read a book and I would just be done with it, you know. But now I read and I really take notes on the book because I'm really understanding, or I'm curious about how someone's thinking and their patterns and, their core values and all these different things. And so I'm really reading the book differently now as I'm studying. I really look at it as a study because it's helping me to see from their perspective how I can incorporate that in my daily routine. Or how does this apply to one of my kids? Do I think that there's similarities? It might help me understand my kids better. So I could go on. I'm going to get off here, y'all, because I can keep going. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you. And I wish you a successful, beautiful week ahead. Bye, everybody. See you next time.